Boo. Tis the season to be spooky, so we're gonna play a spooky game. A game that will scare you so much that you'll be unsure whether or not you're frozen or just too spooked to move. A game that I'm sure haunted many a childhood. Casper in the Ghostly Trio. Wait, you were expecting a horror game? Oh, no, we don't do that here, no. Casper and the Ghostly Trio is an action-adventure game based on the popular spooky character Casper. Developed and published by Blast Entertainment, the same developer who brought you Home Alone and Little Britain the video game, for the PlayStation 2 in February of 2007. Now, this game's kind of a ghost, as I can't really find any information about it. No reviews, no Wikipedia pages, nothing. It's kinda spooky, so I guess instead of talking about the backstory in any depth, I'll just jump straight into the story. Instead of having any cutscenes or voice acting, Casper and the Ghostly Trio seems to have taken the somewhat lazy approach of just giving the player a wall of text to read during the 4-minute long loading screens. It's dumb, like really dumb. This right here, this is dumb. I don't like, it's dumb. But because I'm dumb, I decided to read all of the story so I could summarize it for you. So it looks like Wendy the good little witch has been kidnapped by these 3 ghost dudes and Casper needs to go and save her. It's safe to say that the plot here isn't exactly up there with The Last of Us, but hey, I'm a strong believer in gameplay being more important than the plot in games. So let's jump. Oh wait, no, never mind. No wait, sorry, you gotta wait for the 4-minute loading screens. So how was your day? Was it good? I hope it was good. Oh, is it? Oh, wait, no, just froze. Oh hey, sweet, the level's finally started. So it looks like Casper's adventure starts outside of this haunted mansion, and our objective is to find 4 keys to open a door to this spooky crypt. For whatever reason, the game developers thought it would be best not to teach the player any of the controls, and just leave them stranded on a deserted island with nothing but a broken Wu-Tang Clan PlayStation controller and a copy of this game. I don't think I've ever played a game that felt this jarring in terms of controls. All of Casper's movements and abilities feel really off, and I can't quite put my finger on why. There's this delay between pressing the button and performing the action, but that doesn't feel like the only issue. Everything feels really stiff and awkward whilst also being kinda slippery, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't make sense. You know what, I'll just say that the controls are utter wank. There you go. You have your standard running about and jumping with some other new abilities such as gliding, throwing balls, and throwing this potion that explodes. The player is able to use these abilities to combat the various enemies that Casper encounters during his journey, as you can jump on the enemies' heads a few times, throw a limited potion to one-hit kill them, or throw 6 balls to kill them. Here is where one of my biggest issues with the game comes. This game has one of the worst lock-on systems I've ever seen in a game. Instead of pressing a button to lock on and target an enemy like Legend of Zelda, Rayman 2, and pretty much any game where you need to lock on to an enemy, the game decides to lock on for you as long as you're facing the enemy. But a lot of the time this just doesn't work well, causing for you to get hit because the game screwed you over. It doesn't really help that the main attack needs 6 hits to actually finish off an enemy, and only gets stronger when you beat several enemies without getting hit. So if you're in a room with 4 or so enemies, good luck trying to manage keeping them all off your back at the exact same time. The way the game wants you to deal with those rooms of enemies seems to be, hey, just throw a potion at them, you dick. But sadly, that doesn't have any sort of aim whatsoever, so you kinda just blindly throw it and hope to Miyamoto that you manage to hit the crowd of monsters with it. It's pretty dumb. I really dislike it. I think my biggest issue is how easily this could have been avoided. All the developers needed to do was just add a simple lock-on system so you could aim at enemies properly and not get frustrated when you throw a potion at the wall and it misses everyone. I threw that in the right direction. Why is it not hitting you? Please. I need to stop playing kids games. So on the hunt for 4 keys, we go through a maze, wander about a graveyard, and kinda just aimlessly walk about the place until we find them all. It isn't really hard in the slightest, and it's pretty tedious, but that's okay though. I'm sure the next level will have a more interesting objective. Alrighty, so on to the dark and mysterious crypt. Looks like we have to, we have to find 4 keys. Ah, shit. This level is just plain awful. All of the keys are hidden in really silly places which aren't even challenging to find. The platforming feels unresponsive and it's plain irritating, and some of the enemy placement is so cheap that it's unreal. Whenever you turn a corner, you have to wait a few seconds for the camera to turn as well because it's pretty slow. So where do they decide to place the enemies? You guessed it, around that corner that you can't see around before they hit you. After finding all 4 keys, we're approached by a boss. Casper has to put everything he has into defeating the boss so he can continue on his journey. Oh wait, never mind, he just stands there and throws balls until the boss dies. That was easy. Into the kitchens we go, and oh, for fuck's sake, we have to collect 4 keys again. There isn't really too much to say about most of the levels here, as all you really do in them is collect 4 keys and maybe, just maybe, do a puzzle. If you can even call them puzzles, that is. Once we collect the 4 keys, we're met with another boss battle. This time it's a big ghost thing, I guess, and to defeat it, we have to be incredibly careful as we stand still and spam the square button to deal damage to him and also stun him to make sure he never shows any of his attacks. We did it! Yay! Now we're off to a hall place where we run about finding silver keys to open locked doors so we can find 4 golden keys to open the big door. I don't think I like this game too much. Again, after finding all the keys, we're met with a big boss who this time is an adorable skeleton dude. Square, stun, kill. He's dead. Next level. This is a library. There are 4 keys. This is a boss. This boss is dead. Before we head to the final level, I'm just going to quickly talk about these bonus stages that are in between each level. All you do is run away from this big wall of death and collect these gems. It isn't really fun at all and was more of an irritant than a fun bonus stage. There would be times where I was sure that I could make a jump, but for whatever reason, Casper decides to gain 50 pounds while in the air and then just plummets to his death. Much like the main levels, there's pretty much no variation for these bonus stages, so they're kind of just there. Alright, so we're on the final level where we must go into several different rooms to fight every single boss that we have fought so far, collecting keys as we go along. This is actually a pretty good idea. I mean, it's an idea that's been done to death with various forms of boss rushes, but it's a good idea nonetheless. The only thing here that makes the bosses slightly harder is the fact that they jam 4 or so other enemies into the room, meaning that you can't just spam square this time around. You have to throw a potion and then spam square. It's pretty tricky stuff. After watching Casper murder a bunch of creatures, we make our way to the final boss room. What's beyond this door, I wonder, as I creak it open, filled with suspense. Jesus Christ, those are the ghostly trio. Holy fuck, they're horrifying. Quickly, Casper, spam square. What? For the love of God, spam square. I did it. I won. So, after defeating the 3 scariest ghosts that I've ever seen in my life, we rescue Wendy and finally our quest is over. Let's see what our reward is for completing this masterpiece of a game. Oh, it's just a screen that says congratulations. It's just a screen. That's it. I don't even know what I was expecting, to be honest. So there you have it, Casper and the Ghostly Trio. Don't play this game, it's really not good. Everything from the level design to the controls is just plain bad, and while it probably isn't the worst game that I've ever played in my life, it certainly is the least memorable. In the time that it took for me to play through the game and write the script, I actually forgot most of the game and had to rewatch the footage to actually remember anything aside from the 4-minute loading screens. Just don't play this game, go out, have fun, watch a spooky movie, go trick-or-treating, carve a pumpkin, live life, don't spend 2 hours playing a shitty Casper game. Fuck, man. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please share it with your friends, family, or creepy neighbor, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Looks like this one was a bit shorter than usual, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. Just want to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters, James, Stuart, Melvin, Joe, Mark, Classy, and Harvey. Have a good old spook fest. You guys deserve it. If there's anything you liked or didn't like, be sure to let me know in the comments down below or tweet me at Snooping Turtle. Also, if you want to watch more videos of me doing dumb stuff, then you can check out this video I did for the now ghostly Castle of Illusion HD remake, or check out this one that I did for the spooky and terrifying Hello Kitty roller rescue. That's all from me now. I hope you have a lovely day and a good old Halloween. Bye bye, or should I say boo bye? Hoo hoo hoo. I don't know.